Hello, this is Cody Wallace, and I will be doing a book talk over Twilight by Eli Wetzel. The reason why I believe that this book has been banned, and one of the many reasons that it has been banned, is that to this day there are many historians, scholars, and political figures that believe the Holocaust is false. Now, many of us who do believe that the Holocaust is real find this astonishing and disbelief that there's actually people who believe this is not something that ever happened in World War II. They believe that the Jews, at least the ones who don't believe the Holocaust is real, made it all up. And it's really hard for a mass community of well over 100,000 people, well over up to the millions, to all be skin and bones at the end of the war and believe that everything that happened to them was false. Another reason was the improper use of biblical figures, because in Twilight there are many biblical figures in the book that are used. And I thought that they were done really, really well, and I actually enjoyed how they were portrayed, just because it gives you another twist of how biblical figures were written in a book, because most of the time they pretty much follow exactly who they are, but in Twilight they kind of deviate from that path, and you'll find that out when you read it, but it's really amazing. And for the characters that are the main ones in the book, there is Raphael, the main protagonist of the book, so to say. And in the book he starts out as a young boy who always went up to a mountain clinic in his home village to do nice things for the mentally disabled and impaired that lived there. And there is, of course, Pedro. And who is this man? Who is Pedro? You're constantly asking this question throughout the whole book, and you don't ever find out until maybe a good 5, 6 chapters in do you ever find out who Pedro is and exactly what's going on. Another main character is the old man. Now the old man, he doesn't have a name besides being the old man. He actually has a very interesting play in the book. He represents Jewish mythology in that Jewish mythology has a belief that there is this one person, a spirit of a god, or however it is deemed, that always appears in one form or the other, never the same, to always come and save a person when they are in need of it. And the old man comes to Raphael very periodically in the book, especially during the war, to keep him alive and safe. And it's really nice to see that. And I'll read you an excerpt from page 11 of a letter that Raphael writes to Pedro. It starts with, "I am going mad, Pedro. I feel it. I know it. I have plunged into madness as into the sea, and I am about to sink to its depths. Infinity cannot be challenged with impunity, and madness is infinite down to its fragments. As in death, as is God, cry for help? Here everybody cries for help." In this opening letter to Pedro, it shows the depth of madness that Raphael has fallen into. And you wonder where the madness comes from, but the original source is the old man, and the old man had warned Raphael to understand madness is a very dangerous thing. To understand madness is to be on the line of sanity and complete madness. But to be on that line in between, standing between the two, is perhaps the best thing in the world at the same time. And this book has so many stories within stories. Whoops, I forgot to delete that little part. But one story that's wrote within it is Yoel and Mariel. And Yoel is one of Raphael's 2 older brothers. Yoel is, ironically enough, running away from the German officers, and he is with Mariel and her father. And her father is a historian, so they value documents and historical documents so much. And within the Jewish community, documents that date back way far are highly valued, and is considered a really esteemed practice to be a historian. And another thing is the Jewish play on mythology. There are so many mythologies played that it is amazing. They do mostly stick to where a man randomly appears to help save Raphael, but there are little hints and pieces to others. Another one is the letters. The little snippet that I read of the letter that Raphael wrote to Pedro. There are just so many letters in this book that he writes to Pedro, and they just get crazier and crazier as the story goes on, which keeps the book really, really interesting. And the staying at the clinic part, well, the book starts with a clinic, and then it ends with a clinic. And within the clinic, as Raphael is older, he meets these biblical figures, Cain, Abel, so many of them, and out of all the characters, he meets God the last. It is really weird, but yet it makes it more symbolic in a way. I'll read a little snippet of God in Raphael's conversation. "I have seen men suffer," replied Raphael. "I have seen children die. It is in their name that I speak to you. How can you justify their suffering?" "I don't have to," said God. "Some men kill, and people say it is my fault. Other men permit the killers to kill. Are you saying that too is my fault?" "You could have prevented it all from happening," said Raphael. "Yes, I could have," said God. "Not only the massacres, but all that preceded them. I could have prevented the killers from being born, his accomplice from growing up, mankind from going astray. Can you tell me at what precise moment I should have intervened to keep the children from being thrown into the flames?" And before this conversation between them, God told Raphael, "Don't pity the ones who have died. Pity me. Be sad for me, because I cannot do anything to help alleviate their pain besides once they are dead. That is the only time I could help them." And slowly within the last 5 pages, Raphael is having flashbacks, and he just becomes more absorbed into this mountain clinic that he visits when he's an adult. And eventually, he misses his train that he's supposed to leave in. So, we don't ever really know what happens to Raphael, besides he met God, he is dead and alive, and the old man has always kept meeting with him at one point or another in his life. Well, that's my book talk. Sorry you can't see my face or anything. I've been having trouble with YouTube. It's been the bane of my existence.